So U.S. elections, they put out this on Instagram, and I just want to take a look at this map, the Senate map. And if we go down, it's going to show us here. And so they posted this on April 11th, and this is based on the race to the White House averages. And so we'll come back to this map at the end, and I'll show you the different pathways that Democrats have to take back control of the Senate. But before we do that, I want to look at some of the polling here, because this is pretty interesting looking at some of the polling averages they have here. So the first one is Alaska. So you have Peltola right now at 48.1%. You have Sullivan at 44.7%. And then moving to Nebraska, you have Ricketts at 48.9%. You have Osborne at 46.1%. If we move to Maine, Plattner at 46.6%. Collins at 40.8%. Looking at New Hampshire, you have Pappas at 45.8%. You have Sununu at 40.1%. Looking at Ohio, you have Brown at 47.2%. You have Husted at 45.5%. Looking at North Carolina, you have Roy Cooper at 48.2%. You have Whatley at 38.5%. Looking at Georgia, you have Ossoff at 47.1%, and you have Collins at 43.5%. And then looking at Michigan, you have McMorrow at 43.5%. You have Rogers at 43.9%. Minnesota, you have Flanagan at 46.8%. You have Tafua at 40.9%. Iowa, you have Walls at 39.7%. You have Henson at 45.3%. And then in Texas, you have Tallarico at 44.1% and Paxton at 45%. And so this brings us to the top number here. So you have Democrats and Independents at 49 seats. You have 4 toss-ups, and then you have Republicans at 47 seats. And now when you plug in all that information that we just went over in our map, you see at the top here, Democrats and Independents at 49, Republicans at 47, and then you have toss-ups at 4. And so basically what this is showing us, if we're looking at the toss-ups, Democrats need to win 2 out of these 4. If they can win 2 out of these 4, they'll take back control of the Senate. And so Republicans would need to take 3 out of the 4. If they can take 3 out of the 4, then they'll get to 50. If they get to 50, the vice president can come in and break the tie, and then Republicans would maintain control of the Senate. Now, if we saw a 50-50 Senate, that would still be a huge win for Democrats because they will have netted 3 seats, and that would be a huge win. But let's take a look at some of these different races, because I think Democrats have an opportunity to win maybe 3 out of the 4. So if we're looking at Michigan, even though it's considered a toss-up based on the information that we went over, I still think Democrats have a really good shot of winning in Michigan. So let's just put Michigan on the table for Democrats. Now, when it comes to Republicans, I still think, even though you have Osborne running, and Osborne is an independent, but he hasn't said that he is going to caucus with either side. And so Republicans still do have an advantage in Nebraska. Let's say Republicans win in Nebraska. And so if we're looking at this, we have 2 states left, 2 toss-ups, Ohio, Texas. I think Democrats have a good chance of winning both. And I think their best opportunity is going to be in Ohio. I think Sherrod Brown is, he's running neck and neck with Husted. I think he has a real good shot of winning. And so if Democrats win in Ohio, they take back control of the Senate. But also, if we're looking at Texas, I think Democrats have a real shot at winning in Texas. So Tallarico is running against Paxton or Cornyn. We'll have to see how that plays out. But if we saw a situation where Democrats won in Texas, now we're looking at Democrats at 52, Republicans at 48. And Democrats would pad their lead with 52, even though they only need 51 in order to take back control of the Senate. And so looking at this map, I do think it's realistic. I do think Democrats have a possibility of taking back the Senate. It's not going to be easy, but they do have a possibility. Nebraska and Texas are the only seats that I think lean for Republicans, but I think in Texas, I think Democrats have a real good shot. And even if Democrats don't win in Texas, they still can take back control of the Senate based on the information in front of us. And so let's take a look at this poll. It says, what is the biggest Republican weakness in the Texas Senate race right now? And 1,500 people participated in this poll. Cornyn's image problem, 7%. Paxton's baggage, 27%. Trump staying neutral, 11%. Party division, 54%. And I would have to agree with you. When it comes to party division, 54%, yes, you're seeing party division in Texas. And you're not even seeing a president step up and say, okay, I'm going to endorse one candidate over the other. So that should tell you something right there. But there's a lot of division. You have Cornyn on one side, you have Paxton on the other side. They're running in a runoff, and Paxton is running neck and neck with Cornyn, who is the incumbent. So that right there shows you that there's a lot of division when it comes to the Republican Party in Texas. Now, who will win? We don't know. Cornyn actually won in the primary, or he was a top vote getter in the primary for the Republicans, but that doesn't mean that he's going to win, and it was a very, very close race. And so now that it's narrowed down just to those two, we're going to have to see how that plays out. And that won't be the end, because whoever wins needs to run in the general election. They'll be running against Tallarico. And Tallarico is running neck and neck with both of the candidates right now, both Cornyn and Paxton. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes, but there is a lot of division within the Republican Party in Texas. And how is this going to play out in a general election? That's something else that we need to talk about, because in a general election, if we have a lot of division among Republicans, are we going to see those Republicans that don't get their candidate? And let me give you an example. Let's say Cornyn ends up winning, but you have a lot of supporters that supported Paxton. Are those supporters now going to support Cornyn? Are we going to even see Paxton endorse Cornyn? That's something else. And so what are the people who voted for Paxton, what are they going to do? Are they going to not vote? Are they going to vote for Tallarico? Are they going to vote for Cornyn? We don't know how that will play out. I think that you're going to have a group of people that voted for Paxton. If Paxton doesn't win, I'm just giving the scenario. If Paxton doesn't win, I think you're going to have some of the voters that voted for Paxton not vote for Cornyn and not vote for Tallarico. Some of them might vote for Tallarico, but for the most part, they're not going to vote for Cornyn, because the reason why they're voting for Paxton is because they don't want Cornyn. They don't want the incumbent there. And I think ultimately that would hurt Cornyn in a situation like this. Now, understand, I'm just giving you a scenario. The scenario could be reversed. It could be Paxton winning, Cornyn losing, and then Cornyn support. Will Cornyn endorse Paxton? Will Cornyn supporters actually vote for Paxton? So it could go the other way, but when it comes down to it, right now, I do agree. I think there's a lot of division when it comes to the Republicans in Texas. And so now I want to pass it off to you. What do you guys think about the information we just went over? Do you think that Democrats have a real shot of taking back the Senate? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.